Thank you. It looked nice though. I'm gonna talk about the waiver. So what I'm gonna say. Oh, okay. How you doing? How you doing? You got it, right? I would like to call the Flint Board of Education emergency board meeting to the order at 6:06 PM. Thanks. Okay. Board members, as I call your name, please reply present for the public records. Trustee Boo,
Present.
Assistant Secretary Treasurer Dale Maroney,
Present.
Treasurer McIntyre,
Present.
Trustee Gibbard,
Present.
President Green, Trustee McIntosh,
Is present.
myself, Joyce, President McNeil, present. At this time, we're going to do a waiver of bylaws resolution. Before we proceed, I am seeking a motion and support from my fellow board members to waive the bylaws of the Board of Education of the School District of the City of Flint to enable the board to act on the consider removal of board office from office. That's bylaw 1155. Reorganization of board officers. Police and security at Board of Education meeting, at all Board of Education meeting. And an approval of Board of Education statement from Attorney Lee pending final review by Board President. Yeah, I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Support.
Is there any discussions? Oh, it been properly moved and second. Is there any discussions? If there any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the motion to waive the bylaws to act upon the previous stated items will be conducted by a roll call vote. As I call your name, say yea or nay to approve this action. Ms. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Del Moroni?
Yay.
Pastor Gilbert?
Yay.
Ms. Green? Mrs. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. McIntosh?
Yes.
Myself. Motion passed by a vote 6.
Point of order, Madam President, Acting President. You said that yourself, but you did not say yea or nay for the
I
record.
said yea.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
Motion passes by a vote of 6. 1 absent.
Point of order. I have a question. I know this is an emergency board meeting. I'm sure we're still subject to the Open Meetings Act. And I'm just wondering if we need to hear from the public at some point. Oh, well, maybe I don't have the agenda. Do I have?
We always allow public comment.
I know. Do we? Okay, I guess I just don't see that on the agenda.
That's just the waiver.
What's that?
That's just a copy of the waiver for you.
Oh, so do we have a copy of the agenda for tonight? No, okay. Can we mention what else is on the agenda then? Just public comment.
Can you let me go through the agenda?
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay, normally we get a copy of the agenda. That's what I'm saying. Okay, no problem.
Oh, okay, I think because it was an emergency. This board considered the incident that occurred this morning in an open meeting, Finance Committee of the whole meeting, as a severe and imminent threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the public. At this time, the board will hear any comments from the public. The public reminded that the Board of Education, by its bylaw 1370, is not obligated to answer questions, make a statement or comments in response to issues raised by the public. In general, such issues will be referred to the superintendent for investigation, study, or recommendation. Is there anyone present who'd like to address the board? You will have 3 minutes to address the board. Please be sure to state your name and address before speaking.
Hello, my name is Claudia Perkins Milton, and I received any number of phone calls on today after the incident happened. And I think it's horrible. And I know Laura, she is part of another organization that I'm affiliated with, and she's a very good person. And nobody should be brutalized like that, especially when there are parents and children in the building. This is just ridiculous. And I, for one, am happy that you took the position that you took, because nobody should be brutalized the way that I heard she was. I heard there was blood everywhere. I heard her head was bammed. And I know for a fact she had a concussion because she went to the doctor. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. That is horrible. It's horrifying. We're supposed to be civilized individuals. And for something like that to happen, it should never happen again, ever. And I'm appalled. Thank you.
Are there any more comments? This whole thing?
Make sure that there's no more comment.
Any more comments?
Yes, my name is Claire McClinton, lifelong resident of the city of Flint. Yes, what we're hearing is a very unfortunate situation. The Flint Community School System is at a crossroads. You are charged, maybe that's not why you ran for the board, but oh well, you are charged with protecting and maintaining and growing a public school system in the city of Flint. Now, we're, as public, is holding this board accountable to make sure that this school system survives. And what we're hearing about what happened this morning is very unfortunate, but you have to hold the responsible parties responsible. A couple of weeks ago, the president of the Flint City Council was censured. Our students are kicked out every day for less than what happened of what we're hearing. You have to hold yourself accountable because we got a job to do. And I'm proud to see, Laura, that you attended tonight's meeting. We're proud of you for that because you still on the battlefield, and thank God for you. And so that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more comments? Seeing that there are more comments, we're going to move to the business, to new business. The notice of Board of Education emergency meeting. An emergency Board of Education meeting has been called for today, which is Wednesday, March the 23rd at 6:00 p.m. in the auditorium of the Accelerated Learning Academy, 1602 South Avery Avenue, Flint, Michigan, 48503. A school board may meet in emergency section without complying with the notice requirement of OMA if it becomes necessary to deal with a severe and imminent threat to the health, safety, or welfare of the public. This board considered that an accident occurred this morning in an open meeting as a severe and imminent threat to the health and safety and welfare of the public. Early today at 10 a.m. at the Flint Community School Administration Building, President Green allegedly assaulted Treasury McIntyre in an open meeting, and the board has called this an emergency meeting to discuss how to keep board members and the public safe in open meetings and discuss security implementation, other appropriate measures. I seek a motion and a second to approve the removal of Danielle Green from the board president and have current vice president serve as president for the remaining of the office term, January 22nd until January 23rd.
So moved.
Support.
It has been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Trustee?
I think it would serve well for the public to know what actions we maybe can and cannot take according to our bylaws. And also what happens upon the removal of someone from, let me say, a leadership position, in this case, the president.
I will refer that question to our attorney. Yeah, you ready for that? Keep them up.
Point of order, Madam Chair, point of order. Please speak up just
Okay.
for the public.
You ready? Thank you, Attorney Lee. Good question.
Your Honor, you would like me to answer?
Uh-huh.
Sure. So as far as the actions that you're able to take in your bylaws, you have bylaw 1155, which authorizes the removal of a board officer from office. And that states that the board may remove a member from a board officer position with or without cause by a majority vote of the members of this board. Also, regarding public censure, to my knowledge, that is not in your bylaws. I haven't seen it. I wouldn't, at this particular time, the board can make a motion for whatever actions that you believe appropriate in this particular matter regarding security or regarding how you would like to manage the situation. But as far as board members, it is important to note that this board does not have the authority to remove a board member from a public board. Everyone that sits here that is elected today is duly either appointed or elected, and you, under the Michigan laws, you may only be removed from office if certain things are triggered or certain things happen. So in an incident such as this board is not able to vote to remove a member. You can't remove them from an office such as president or vice president or treasurer or another office they may hold by a majority vote. However, you are not able to remove them from the board in the sense, or stop them from coming to meetings. As far as public censure, that's something that you all can consider, but the bylaws are silent on that particular matter. And if you'd like to make a bylaw to deal with that today, that's something that you could look into doing or adding to the bylaws regarding public censure. I would be careful with that, though. Everyone has a voice on this board, and so you just want to make sure that when you utilize those particular measures, it is appropriate for what incident has taken place. I will also just add, that the person who does have power to remove someone from elected office would be the governor. And then also you can be immediately removed from office if you are convicted of a felony or if you are recalled from office, which would be a process in itself, someone gathering petitions looking to remove someone by a vote with an election. So here, the options that you presently have are to remove someone from office. That would be, but you're not able to remove anyone from the board. Any questions?
Yeah,
Pastor Gilbert, or did you, Pastor Gilbert hand it will come back?
okay, this,
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Attorney Lee, it would not be necessary for a 2/3 vote. Is that correct, or is that what is required by this statute, or it's only a majority vote? Which is it?
I'm sorry. So the majority vote to remove someone from the office of president here?
Yes, yes.
Your bylaws say by majority vote of the
Right.
board, yes.
Okay. Just-
The vote, the 2/3 vote required today was for the emergency
Right.
meeting, which you all did earlier.
Right.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
and
Trustee Gilbert.
I just wanted to thank Attorney Lee for that explanation for the public, so they understand our parameters and what we can and cannot do and what we're allowed to do. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any further discussions? Seeing no further discussion, the motion to approve removing Danielle Green from the board president office position and have a current vice president serve as the vice president for the remainder of the office term, January 22nd to January 23rd. Will be conducted by roll call vote.
Ms. Joyce,
Huh?
you're not serving as the vice president.
Oh, no, what am I doing here?
You serve.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me redo that. Seeing no further discussion, the motion to approve removing Danielle Green from the board president office position and have current vice president serve as president for the remaining of the office term, January 22nd to January 23rd, will be conducted by the roll call vote. As I call your name, say yay or nay to approve this action. Mrs. Booth, yay.
Point of information. What was it that you said after the word "and"? To place the vice president as president, and then you said something "and"?
This motion is to approve removing Danielle Green from the board president office position and have current vice president serve as president
Current.
for the remainder of the office term, January 22nd until January 23rd.
Is that the year,
Yeah.
2022 to 2023? Is that correct?
Just a point of order here.
On information over there.
Point of information. In the case of a vacancy in the office of president, the vice president shall succeed to the office of president for the balance of the unexpired term. In case of a vacancy in any other office or position due to removal, resignation, or otherwise, the vacancy shall be filled by a majority vote of all other members of the board then in office. So essentially, by even taking the action to remove President Green from the office of president, the vice president will succeed to the president position, and you will need to fill the vice president position. Thank you.
Any more discussions? All right. Yeah. We will proceed with conducting a roll call vote. As I call your name, say yay or nay. Ms. Booth?
Yay.
Mr. Dale Maroney?
Yay.
Pastor Gilbert?
Yay.
Ms. Green is not here. Mrs. McIntyre?
Yay.
Ms. McIntosh?
Yay.
Myself, Dr. McNeil, yay. Motion passed by a vote of 6 yeas, 1 absent. The second order of the business is reorganization of board officers. Board members, at this time, we need to nominate and appoint a new vice president. Are there any nomination for vice president?
I nominate Carol McIntosh for vice president.
I accept any nominations
Yourself?
that to fill any board seats. I am a member of this board. I'm going to do what I have to do for the district.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, I will now conduct a roll call vote. When I call your name, please say yes or no to approve this motion. And the motion is to appoint trustee Kara McIntosh as the vice president for January 22 through January 23rd. So the majority indicate that we will, Linda Booth,
Yes.
Chris Demaroni,
Yes.
Ellen Gibbard,
Yes.
Laurie McIntyre,
Yes.
myself, Joyce McNeil, and Kara McIntosh.
Yes.
The majority indicate that we have 6 votes serve as vice president for the remainder of 2022. Sorry, Miss. The majority indicate that we will have Kara McIntosh serve as vice president remainder of 2022.
Point of order. It's not just the remainder of 2022, it's going into January of 2023. So I think we need to be very clear on dates and times and, when we say January 22 was a January, it was brought up January, the year 2022, January 22nd of 2022, but it goes beyond 20 or 23. It goes beyond 2022. So if we could clear that up just for the record.
So we can change it all the way back to vice president to remain to January of 2023. That's what you,
Or to fulfill the unexpired term.
okay. I'm going to state this again. The majority indicate that we will have Kara McIntosh serve as vice president for the unexpired term. That's good.
Yep, that's good for me.
Good to meet you. At this time, we need to nominate and appoint a new secretary. Are there any nomination for secretary?
Linda Booth.
Point of order, Madam Chair. Did you recognize Sister McIntosh?
I love you so much, Pastor
I
Gilbert.
love you too. I love you too.
Okay. Are there any nomination for the appointment of secretary? Vice.
I nominate, Sister Linda Booth for secretary. No,
Thank you. Do you accept, trustee Linda Bruce?
Yes, I accept that nomination.
Are there any other nomination? Members of the board, we have reached a majority vote. Oh, no, we have to do a roll call. Seeing none, I will not conduct a roll call vote. When I call your name, please say yes or no to approve this motion.
did we first and second? I'm sorry,
No,
ma'am.
it's just a
A
nomination.
nomination.
It's a
Okay, I'm sorry.
nomination.
Okay.
Linda Booth,
Yes.
Chris Del Moroni,
Yes,
Pastor Allen Gibbert,
Yes,
Laurie McIntyre,
Yes.
myself, yes, and Kara McIntosh.
Yes.
Members of the board, we have reached a majority vote for secretary. The majority votes indicate that we will have Linda Booth as secretary for the expired term. Congratulations to both Carol McIntosh and Linda Booth. Our next business is police and security at all Flint Board of Education meetings. I seek a motion and a second to direct administration to provide police and/or security personnel at all Flint Board of Education meeting until further notice.
support.
It had been properly moved and supported. A second. Is there any discussions? Trustee Chris Demaroni?
yes. And number one, are the Flint Police willing to do this? Number two, is there a cost to the district for the police to be here?
Can you answer that?
Trustee Demerone, tonight, we do have two officers with us today. The superintendent was able to organize that today. We are not clear at this time whether there would be a charge, right? This, just since it was because it was an emergency meeting and it was a last minute effort. I do know that the superintendent informed me earlier that we do have liaisons that work in the district, which we do pay. But at this time, we're considering the district, considering that, this is an added and could be an added expense. We will endeavor to look to have this provided for free, right? And request that, but if not, then it would be an expense.
If I may continue, if there is an expense associated with that, I would like to know if ESSER funds can be used. And secondly, if we could collaborate with the city of Flint, maybe they can use some of their art money and we do 50-50 on that. And I don't know who could check that out. The administration superintendent.
So at this point, the motion on the floor addresses the superintendent to charge to take care of that, so
Okay.
to look into that.
Are there any more discussion? Pastor Gilbert?
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
through you to the superintendent. So Superintendent Jones, you will coordinate this. You will take care of the details and you will inform us as to what that looks like as soon as possible.
I will let you know if there's a cost associated with it.
Yes,
I think there is a cost.
yes.
And then I will let you know if it will need to be a general fund cost or if we could use other dollars to support it. So with what's stated in the action, it states that we will make sure. So I have to do my due diligence, and I hope that you would understand that before you vote to say we will make sure it happens. I have to make sure that I do that due diligence first.
Yes.
So I just want to put that on the record.
Just to follow, Chris, it's about the schedule of our meetings and all of that will be incorporated in as you know exactly what that will look like on that end of it.
Right,
The
because
security end.
when we talk about regular board meetings or
Yes.
COWs,
Yes,
those are scheduled. However, there are some meetings that we schedule a week before or a couple days before.
yes.
So I just want to make sure that I could sit and speak with those that are in charge of our Flint Police to ensure that we can meet all of those demands.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I think Superintendent Jones brings up a good point too. I think the motion should be read subject to, because if we take action to have police security here and we cannot, if they say no, the city hall says no, the police chief, whoever, or we cannot afford it for whatever reason, can't find funding, then we've passed a motion where no action can be taken. So I think the motion, I can make a friendly amendment, should read subject to the superintendent, the administration, securing police to be able to come here. And I don't know how else that motion read, but I don't want to completely change the motion. I just want to get in there subject to the superintendent being able to secure police protection.
Subcommittees as well?
It says all meetings, so, do,
Madam Chair.
one second. Since this meeting is about, the person has been attacked, which is, trustee Laura McIntyre, we would like to hear your comments concerning this issue.
So
You're the victim.
I think this speaks to a broader issue. While I am appreciative of the effort that's being put forth on my behalf to provide security to the schools, I also think that it's a larger public safety issue. So it's not just about me as an individual, but I think that the spirit and the community around some of the public meetings in the city of Flint need careful observation, or I'm just sad to say that it's come to this. I am a very secure person, but I do not feel safe. And I'm just wondering about requesting police presence when In my opinion, the response by the police today was less than adequate in my opinion. I still don't understand why there's talk about not pressing charges or pressing charges, about how it's not up to me, it's up to the prosecutor, and also why the individual who attacked me wasn't arrested immediately, because it was unprovoked, and I did not do anything to precipitate the attack, and I did not do anything to defend myself in any way, shape, or form. And so I don't think it's fair to the public. I don't think it's fair to the police to have one individual terrorizing the board or providing an atmosphere of unsafety, or if that's even a word. So I would be really hesitant to pass something which would put an extra burden on the school district. I don't think that that's fair. I wouldn't like to see us have to pay for extra security. I think this is a matter of public health and public record, and that it's the responsibility of the city to make sure that all of us are safe and protected and feel secure in any public space. I think this has implications outside of board meetings as well, just given the individuals involved and who I am and you know, who was doing the attacking and people, you know, around that issue. So I would just like us all to be able to get work done and to be safe and to make sure that the public is safe around us while we're doing it, if that makes sense. Because I don't want anything to spill over into the public. I don't want the public jeopardized. So that's where I'd be coming from. So I don't know about making a motion to have the schools provide police protection. I think the police just need to protect all of us at all times under the law as it's written. So.
You know, then, Vice President McIntosh.
Well, I'm taking it under consideration what Sister Laura said, so I'm gonna refuse. I'm gonna keep recuse my comments. I'm just gonna keep it to myself. Thank you.
Pastor Gilbert.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and to my colleague, Sister Laura McIntyre. I apologize to you in the open. I believe this is my conviction, mine own, and this is for the public, that all of us are responsible for what happened today. That's my position. It wasn't right. I didn't like it. I did my best to restrain it and to stop it. It wasn't good enough. You did not deserve it, and you're my colleague, and I'm your colleague. And we have heard from the public, and they have a right to let us know how they feel. But I want you to know that I apologize to you. I know I did not do it, but it should not have happened to you. It was wrong in my opinion, and I would never, ever, Normally, I would not say this. I would not mention the Bible. But I just can't help it. And I'm not going to try to help it. The Bible says in the book of Hebrews 12 and 14, it says, follow peace with all men, and holiness without which no man shall see the Lord. For the last almost 49 years of my life, I've lived my life that way. To follow peace. And I just want you to know that your brother and fellow colleague, that I am sorry for what happened to you today. And I'm so full. I just wanted you to know that.
Is there any further comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when I first was appointed to the board, one of the things I had said was children first, safety first, children first. And it's hard to put one before the other, really. But for those who may have reservation about having police at our different meetings, safety first. We have crossing guards, we have security in the schools, we have police at our basketball games, football games, city council has police. I think at this time, we need police. At this time, if this is not the time, then at what time does it become time? That was a physical assault. I mean, there was blood, there were bruises. So I think security is necessary. It's unfortunate, not only unfortunate of what happened, but it's unfortunate of what's going on in our society. And there are many pressures in our society right now, whether it be, remote learning at different times, whether it be a pandemic, whether it be the inflation rate right now, just many pressures are placed on people right now. So I'll be supporting officers here at our meetings with that caveat that, providing, they could say, no, we're not going to do it, and then we'll have to look somewhere else. But I'll be supporting it. Thank you.
Vice President Kara McIntosh.
And I'm sure we have a contract for security, so it seems that we could have a couple of our security guards make a little overtime when we have our meetings, and maybe have one police officer when necessary if we're having big meetings, and maybe have teach out when we're having subcommittee meetings, when we're having our smaller meetings with our 2 and 3 members, so we could kind of curve our costs. But we're at a point in the country, a political boiling point, and tensions are high and ideas are overflowing and people are getting antsy, and unfortunately everything that happens isn't positive. So we're going to have to, if we're truly going to get the real work done, it might be necessary for us to, in order to do the work with a clear conscience and not have to, be worried about that type of thing. So I think maybe we should look into our teach out options as well. Give them an opportunity to make a few extra dollars. That's it.
You're all done. I want to take a moment, and I'm just going to call you Laura, because I've been calling you Laura for the last 12 years. This is a painful day today, but Vice President McIntosh and McIntyre, we've been going through this for about a year. This just didn't happen today. We three girls have been beaten down from people on the outside. We've been treated less than, I don't even know what to say, all because we took this seat and decided to put children first. And there have been an attack on us as females. Unbelievable. The name calling. Seeing my husband trying to get well and have to worry about my safety. We talked among ourselves that this was gonna happen sooner or later. We didn't know how it was gonna come. We sit here as, I wanna say more than as like a Harry Tubman position because we care. But the abuse is unbelievable. And now I appreciate your concern. I'm not concerned about how much it's gonna cost a police officer. When my husband's saying that as soon as I get these stitches out of me, I'm gonna come down there and I'm gonna handle this because there's nobody gonna take care of you girls. My husband loved the three of us. He does. When we fall out, he said he gonna get his cane and come and hit us upside the head. But that's out of love. And so now we are to this point. We live in a society, and I've been hearing people saying some harsh things, what they wanna do to us. We're not taking it serious. I'm beginning to take it serious now. Because as a man speaketh
In his heart.
in his heart, so it
So
is
is
he. You know, put our names out there. You know, put our kids' names out there. Telling people to come and get us, attack us, because our partners want this and our partners want that. Our partners are partners. That's all we hear. Well, I'm asking our partners, get these monkeys off our backs so we can do the board business. That's what this boiling down to. We can't sugarcoat it. And now it happened within our board. Pressure. I'm gonna make this motion. I love you. To see my colleague, my friend, punch like that. Then we got to turn around and got the audacity to sit in on an expulsion and talk about kids fighting and we are the worst, these adults. Grown men sitting other men to attack women. What are we teaching these kids? What are we teaching them? This would never happen again. Trust me. To the point where when a person says something in my ear that they're gonna hurt one of my colleagues, I'm gonna let you know. I'm not gonna take it that you're just angry anymore. So if any more comments or your concerns,
No, I would just ask that you reread the,
I am
motion.
going to do that. I'm gonna, trustee Chris, I'm gonna read it again with your amendment. I seek a motion and a second to direct administration to provide police and security personnel at all Flint Board of Education meetings, subject to superintendent securing funding for these services. Is there a motion?
So moved. Fine.
Were you
I
second?
heard I heard police and security. Maybe it should better be read as.
Subject to
police
superintendent, security and finance for police.
At the beginning. I'm thinking police or security.
Or security. If that's what you want to hear.
Well, I think it sounds better than and, because and says we're gonna have one of each at least.
I'm seeking a motion and
Uh,
second to direct the administration to provide police and/or security personnel at the Flint. We're trying to reread this so his understanding.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Yes, what's your point?
There was a motion made.
True?
Was it properly seconded?
No?
I didn't think so. So if we, we got to have the second in order to discuss it because, or either we got to say that
So
the
can we,
motion failed.
If it's okay with the board, yeah, Kara made the motion. This is
Is there a
very
second?
emotional moment right now. So Kara made,
Correct.
so we were looking for a second.
Second.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion?
That movement and second was for the original motion?
Yes.
Okay, and then on the friendly amendment, do we also not need a second?
I heard a motion.
You need a motion in a second.
So do I need to repeat the friendly amendment, the whole?
No,
I need a second on it.
second, yeah,
Okay,
because I had made it,
okay. And,
and then I think we need a second on the
Second.
friendly amendment.
I second the friendly motion
okay.
amendment.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion to approve directing administration to provide police and/or security personnel at all Flint Board of Education meeting until further notice will be conducted by a roll call vote. As I call your name, say yea or nay to approve this action. Mrs. Booz,
Yes.
Mr. Del Maroney,
Yay,
Pastor Gibbard, okay. Mrs. McIntyre,
Yes.
Ms. McIntosh,
Yeah.
myself, Dr. Mike Neal. Motion passed by a vote of 6.
point of order. I think it's very important when we call for the vote, if the president is asked, or who's ever sitting in the chair, and so it's not about you. If the president asks for a yes in the affirmative, the answer by the board members should be yes. If a yay is asked, those who wish to vote in the affirmative should say yay and not yes. So I would simply ask that we redo the vote because I heard more yeses than yays, and it was asked for yays. It's the same as if you're asked to raise your hand and you say yes. There's a difference in that. So I don't want there to be any question moving forward as to how the board voted.
As I call your name, say yea or nay to approve this action. Mrs. Booth,
Yay, I stand corrected.
Chris Del Maroney,
Yay.
Pastor Gilbert,
Yay.
Mrs. McIntyre,
Yay.
Ms. McIntosh,
Yay.
myself, Dr. Mike Neal, yay. The vote passes by a vote of 6.